Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. There will not be any real Kung Fu in this video. This video is about racism. This video is about racism and some other things. So it's more than likely I'm going to piss off a few people tonight. Earlier today on Instagram I made a video about young black cats that think they're hard. So I want to touch on that before I go any deeper. And I'm probably going to lose my ghetto pass. And I'm probably going to get a lot of threats from black people. And to you I say, bring it the fuck on. But don't bring any knives or guns. Fight me like a man, if you actually can fight. Alright? Which most people these days just can't fight. Alright? I grew up in a generation where we fought, and if we couldn't beat your ass, we either left you alone, or then we bitch out, go get a gun, and then shoot you. Which seems to descend it down to y'all generation now. Well, I don't know how to fight, but I got this gun, so I'm just going to shoot this motherfucker. I can't fight, so I'm going to shoot him. That's what I'm going to do. Earlier today, I was driving to go get flowers for my late nephew who passed away in a motorcycle accident about 2 weeks ago. Alright. So this young black man, as I'm driving up the road, decides, got this dude driving his car. I'm going to make sure I walk extra fucking slow because I'm hard. I'm black, I'm 6'2", I'm hard as nails, fuck you. Two things before I continue on, I want to touch on this. One, your size and your skin tone don't make you hard as nails. If anything, it makes you a target to get your ass kicked by someone who's only 5'3.5". Let's get that out the way. I just want to cover that up because a lot of people think that just because they're big as hell that they can beat everybody. My policy is really simple. The bigger you are, the harder I get to hit you because you're big as hell. And that means when the cops come and I'm standing over your carcass, as the video game says, no one is taller than the last man standing. And that's by all means gonna be me, because fighting is what I do. I don't get paid for it, so I'm gonna have to enjoy it and then explain to the cops what happened. I might swerve the truth a bit, because I don't know what your criminal record is, but I don't have one. So, therefore, anyway, let's move on. Racism is something that we need to address for a few reasons. I'm also touching on me not clapping back on a young man who watched my video the other night who said, all I hear is me, blah, 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 me. Cool beans. I don't know what your race is. I don't know your struggle. And I'm not going to clap back on you, young man, because here's that thing. I'm 47 years old. If I was 67, I'd clap back on you because I'm a senior citizen and I'm too old to fight. Maybe, maybe not. But here's that thing, y'all. Anybody can say anything to anybody via camera, via Instagram, via YouTube, via Twitter, via Snapchat, any other social medias that I missed, via TikTok. Enough said. But if you have not been the victim of racism, this video is for you. So sit your ass down and learn something. Alright? So there are many people who have experienced racism. Me, number one, with a bullet on experiencing fucking racism. So if I want to talk about me, it is my channel. It is my YouTube. It is my Instagram. I'm not holding anyone here hostage. No. And sadly, if I was to lose all my followers today, what can I do? Nothing. Nothing. I can't cry if I offend everybody and they say, all right, well, we're done with James. Fuck him, we're done. Y'all have that right to do that. I love you still, but there's nothing I can do to change your opinion. That's a fact. If you choose to, this is me, and this is everyone else, we're going out the hole. We're leaving James high and dry. I might cry for about 10 minutes. Life's not going to stop. I'm still going to make my Scarlet Spider fan film, and I'm still going to post martial arts stuff. Whether you choose to come back and like it or not, it's not going to change anything. Same thing with your political affiliation. I'm still going to love and respect everybody, and I'm only going to question your morals once. But I'm not going to judge you on that, because you're going to question my morals. Now, heart of the matter, racism. We have a lot of racism things that has gone on in Charlottesville for years. It just didn't really get acknowledged until Mr. Kessler and the Unite the Right crap came, and all these bloody fucking statues that everybody's trying to reallocate or get rid of or whatever. We need to take a knee. We need to sit back and look at ourselves before we judge someone else, because there's an equal amount of racist people on the planet. I am racist to racist people. If you are a racist, I don't want your support. I don't need nothing from you, because you're not helping you, and you damn sure not helping me, because if you're looking at me right now and you're saying, well, this half-breed guy, we don't want to hear what he has to say. Shh, don't be here. But the thing about the truth is, we all have experienced something from someone else that made me sit back and say, maybe all of those people are like that. Now, I personally, let me correct that before you guys go believing that. I personally have not said that, because I am part Cherokee, part black, and part white, and I have experienced racism from all three other ethnicities that I come from. Alright? Now, I can say this. No one Chinese has ever really said anything bad to me. And the guy that I thought was Chinese was actually Vietnamese, and who knew that Zhang was an interchangeable name? Who knew? I didn't. I knew that Kims, Changs, Chongs, and Chows were interchangeable with Korea, but I didn't know they were interchangeable with Vietnam. Enough said. No. I have never had too many problems with anyone of Asian persuasion except for Native Americans. 2 incidences with Native Americans. 2! Just 2. 5 to 7 with whites, and a fuck ton with blacks. So here's my thing. If me being multicultural can be the victim of racism from all of them, should I go around hating all black people? Should I go around hating all Native American people? Should I go around hating all white people? Should I go around hating all Asians? No! Because that one person did something stupid. I should not blame their entire race for that dumb shit. But we do that. We don't sit back and say, what did someone of that person's cultural background or ethnicity do to me to make me hate every last one of them? And maybe it's homegrown. Maybe somebody in your parents' generation or your grandparents' generation may have died in one of the wars. It's war. We go to war because we're soldiers. We are taught from the second we get into boot camp that we are going to die. That's a fact of life as a soldier. Unless you get like one of those alpha jobs where you just push buttons and design cool shit. If you get infantry, no matter if you're Bravo, Golf, or Delta, or Oscar, if you get infantry, you're infantry. You go in. That's your job. Your job is to go in and slay people. And their ethnicity ain't gonna matter down the barrel of a gun. And FYI, when I was in the military, I had Mexican brothers, I had Chinese brothers, I had black brothers, I had white brothers, and we were not racist. We didn't do any racist slurs, none of that shit. We had one mission, and that was to train to survive. That's it. Then I fell in a hole. Then I had to get all new brothers when they transferred me from Bravo to Golf. Now in Golf, I fucked up, and I wanted to kill a drill sergeant, and guess what? He was Chinese. And he was bullying the fuck out of me. And there was another drill sergeant. He was white, and he was abusing their powers because they were 23 years old, and I'm 37. And it's taking everything I can to not wrap my hands around Drill Sergeant Walsh's neck. And the other drill sergeant, whose name I can't remember, but we about the same size. He was a little bit bigger than me, but they are soldiers. They're not street fighters. There's a small difference, and not every soldier is as good with these damn hands as the mythical military training believes you to know. Just getting that out there. You don't know who you're going to fight until you actually have to fight somebody. And you don't know what they know until the first punch is thrown. It's just that simple. I'll make a fighting video after this. That'll be my extra. When I got into fucking Delta Company, our main drill sergeant, our captain, he was Mexican. One of my drill sergeants, Aztec Warrior, was Mexican. Another drill sergeant was white, and another drill sergeant was white. I was a nasty girl, so I wasn't treated properly because the Army and boot camp don't really like nasty girls because we're weekend warriors. But we are no less soldiers than the reserves or the actual Army. So there was prejudice in that. But not one of them said, hey half-breed, hey nigger, hey chink. None of them said that. It was, hey soldier. What color are you, soldier? We are green, sir. Don't call me sir, I work for a living. Drop and give me 20. Yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant. That's how you respond to me, soldier. Roger that, drill sergeant. Drop and give me 20 more. It's yes, drill sergeant, no drill sergeant. He was a white man. He wasn't a racist man. He was a good man. Every soldier that I was with were good men, and they were all of different colors. So why is it in the civilian world we can't all just see green? And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about uniform green. Because you got a better economical standing. You come from a middle class or a high class family. I come from dirt. That doesn't make me no less a person. It just makes you a little bit higher than me on the financial and the economical standpoint. And you can be black. You can be white. And you can be Asian. And still be higher than me on the hierarchy. But that does not make you better than me. So what brings us back around to racism is really simple. No one knows why we don't sit down and address that shit. No one wants to sit down and say, Mr. Wang, Mr. Williams, Mr. Wolf, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Jones, Mr. Bennett. I'm not really good on white names, I'm sorry. Mr. Brooks, that can be interchangeable. Mr. Chow, why the fuck don't you like me? And no one's going to give you an honest answer and say, hey, you know, when I was younger, when I was 15, I got jumped by 15 black guys. Yeah, you know, that happened to me. Yeah, that happened to me. Well, how the fuck do you know that it hadn't happened to the black guy too? You don't. And you don't care. Because most people, when they're racist, they don't care. They need a reason to hate you. But they fail to understand, and this goes to every racist, myself included, because I'm racist to racist people. We all get up in the morning. We piss, we poop, we wipe, we wash. We brush our fucking teeth, we clean our fucking ears, all the same. Now some of you rich people have that golden toilet that shoots water up your ass. I'm poor. I will never have that. The concept of water being shot up my ass just gives me a really bad feeling. Alright? Especially like if you ever have diarrhea, and diarrhea just like blows your asshole open. So yeah, I don't really think I want water squirting up my ass. Plus, how do I know that I got all the shit off? I've never seen a bidet. But yeah, they do exist. I'm poor. Give me toilet paper. That's it. But none of us sit back and see what we have in common. We all have 5 fingers and 5 toes. Our cultural differences is really the only thing that separates us. Our skin tone is the only other thing that separates us. Maybe our gender. Maybe people have gender dysmorphia and don't know what the hell they want to be between being a male or a female. But outside of that, what on earth could I possibly have done? What have somebody of my ethnicity possibly have done to make everyone on the planet hate us? And this is not just me speaking from a black perspective. It's me speaking from a white perspective. It's me speaking from a Native American / Asian perspective, because there are an equal amount of racist motherfuckers on all sides. And why did I bring this up? I brought it up for a simple fact. When I was younger, you have no idea how many times I was called half-breed in grade school, in middle school, in high school. Never called me that in college. I was picked on for other things. But I was picked on for other things in grade school, in middle school, in high school and even in college. You know, oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're short. Oh, you'll never get a good girlfriend. Oh. You can come up with 10,000 reasons of what I was picked on. But the one thing that it always led back to was my ethnicity. Because most of my racist incidences that came from black people were, you're not a real nigger, you're a half nigger. When it came from white people was, you're not a real honky, you're a half honky. Now we owe honky to the Jeffersons, by the way, because I had never heard that word until we started watching the Jeffersons at home. You know, I never heard that word on What's Happening. I may have missed a few episodes. I think I may have heard that word once or twice on Sanford and Son, but when you're a kid, you don't remember everything from your childhood as an adult and how you saw stuff. If I look at Voltron now versus Voltron when I was a kid, Voltron when I was a kid was cool as shit. I'm kidding. Voltron now still cool as shit. I haven't watched the new one. I still watch the old one. But at that same time, there are some things that hold up. There are some things that don't. Warriors of Virtue. They haven't made any more of this guy, this a kangaroo, this fighting. I was a little slow there. But they haven't really made anything like that. So the old one still holds up for me because they haven't remade it. The Ninja Turtles. We're 4 elevated turtles versus Ernie Reyes Jr. and them in suits. They still hold up for me. I'm not a big CGI fan. Alright? Same thing with the Alien films. But racism is just like those films. More prejudice than racism in those films, though, because when you think about it, hey, let's hire voice actors and knock 5 martial artists out of work. So, instead of hiring people who are great with martial arts to play the Ninja Turtles, put them in some suits, we're just going to put them in some black suits and dots. And then we're going to draw these turtles on top of them and let that shit happen. You see where we're going here. So, racism is pretty much the same damn thing. You know, we all know someone who's been a victim of racism. The 400 and change of y'all know now that I've been a victim of racism for the majority of my life. But not everyone who's watching me right now can say that. Not everyone who's got access to me right now can say that they've been the victim of racism. But we all can say, every third person that you know, especially if you have black friends or Asian friends or white friends that are poor, can say that they have been a victim of racism. I know some white cats that's poor that live right down there in a trailer court. And they get treated like they're black people. And we black people indoctrinate them right up in the group with us because they know what we know. And we know what they know. Now the only difference is when they get handcuffed, they're probably going to go home about an hour and a half faster than us. But that's it. They're still going to be treated like they're black people because of where they live. We as people have to understand 2 simple things, and racism can come to an end. 1, we all bleed red. And 2, the cultural things that separate us is the only reason that it separates us is because we allow it to. Now, yeah, I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not going to walk into Chinatown rocking a kimono. You know, I'm not Chinese. And technically, kimonos are Japanese. So you see how racist that was. I made that statement on purpose to see if anybody was aware that kimonos are actually Japanese, not Chinese. So me walking into Chinatown with a kimono, as offensive as that might be, it may offend more Japanese people than Chinese people. Now, me walking on the reservation in this outfit right here is not going to offend them because I'm not pure blood. But if they decide that they want to give me Native American regalia and say, here, you might not be pure blood, but while you are on this tribe, you will wear tribal clothes. Not only did they offer me tribal clothes, but they insisted that I wear them. So now I do not offend them because they insisted that I wear them. See, there's a difference. If they ask me to wear the clothes out of respect for their culture, and I'm on their land, damn right I'm going to put on their clothes. Versus me going into a Native American residence while they're doing a powwow while I wasn't invited, and I just jump right in and start wearing their shit and feathers. But then I leave, and I go try to represent those Native Americans when I'm not from that tribe, for one. You know, so if I go to a Navajo powwow, which is way out west, I'm Cherokee, so I'm nowhere near Navajo. I don't know the Navajo traditions. Hell, I barely know any Cherokee traditions. So me going to do that would be excessively offensive. The same thing with me trying to go into a witch doctor of African or Jamaican voodoo shit. I don't know about that shit. The blackness I know comes from the fucking hood. I don't know shit about Kwanzaa except for that it's not an African holiday. I know that an African American studies professor made that shit up so that black people in America would have a fucking black holiday. That's what that shit is. Now, if you ask me about Chinese New Year, I can tell you about Chinese New Year. Know why? Because in February, some of the martial art clubs around here that I've missed 4 Chinese New Year events. I've missed 4 of them. And they're not prejudiced. They don't care what color you are when you join these Chinese clubs. They don't care. They want us there, especially if you're doing martial arts. Because every Chinese New Year around here in Charlottesville, there is an Asian club that does an Asian bash. Now, as of this year, it's probably not going to happen if we don't rock that COVID-19 with a kick. You know, if we don't kick COVID-19 the fuck out of here, there's not going to be a lot of parties going on. But when we have those wushu tournaments and stuff, where people are coming in and they got the wushu rings and they're doing all of this stuff, you know I fucked up because I said there wasn't going to be any kung fu in these videos. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Kung fu is what I do. Anyway, we have to understand that if these wushu clubs will let people of non-Asian ethnicity compete, in these wushu clubs, what's the issue? There was a black dude at the last wushu club I went to. I can't remember if he had the majestic spear or if he had the bow staff, but it was a ranged weapon. He got down. I mean, he literally got down. And then the Asian people kicked in and they got down. And I had to call it the Asian people so I could be politically correct, because I can't just look at someone Asian and say, okay, you're Chinese, you're Japanese, you're Korean, you're from Vietnam, you're from Laos. No, I can't do that, because if I don't know what your last name is, I'm not going to get that shit right. And even if I know what your last name is, I'm still not going to get that shit right. I just said earlier, I didn't know that Zangs could be from Vietnam. As a child, I had a fight with a little Asian dude. But he was Chinese. And we got to arguing over some goddamn rice cakes. Because he had said something to me about being a half-breed. And I said something to him that was a Vietnam thing, but I thought he was Chinese, so it was actually a Chinese thing. And I told him to go eat some rice cakes. And he said, fuck you, I'm not Chinese, I'm from Vietnam, and we don't fucking eat no goddamn rice cakes. He won the argument. I lost. So, you know, racism. Why have we not all taken the time to understand why this shit has not stopped in the 100+ years that we've been in America? Why have we not stopped it? Why have we not stopped racism? Is it fear? Is it understanding? Is it loathing? Or do we know that if everybody stays racist instead of friendly, that things go either very, very right or very, very wrong, and people get fucked up? Well, the third answer is clear. People get fucked up. Because let me bring this down to you really quickly. Cops have killed white people. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that they haven't. Not for a New York minute. Don't let it get in your head that white cops have not killed white people, because they have. Go Google that shit. Cops have probably killed more black people than white people, and they have fucked up a lot of Asians and Mexicans. Don't know if they've killed them, because I haven't been able to find that yet, but for the most part, cops have killed a majority of black people and white people. Now, the numbers are different in ranges, but they still have done it. But racism is something that you can control. Yeah, you don't like me because I'm mixed. Cool. I can respect that, especially if you tell me that to my face. And we can coexist without being racist. I've learned how to do that. I've had years of practice. But then you got to find that one commodity that brings us together. For me, it's Kung Fu. You know, you can be the racist motherfucker in the world, but if you got good Kung Fu, and you want to spar, you know, and you can teach me some shit, and I can teach you some shit, oh God, the race thing would just be disappearing. You wouldn't notice it until you finally got it. You wouldn't notice it. You got different people on your sports team. At one point in time, you will still see that they are a black person or an Asian person or a white person. But to you, once y'all get to know each other, you will still be able to acknowledge that they are black and you won't feel bad about it. You will get to acknowledge that they are white and you won't feel bad about it. But when people talk to you, be like, yo, you know Charlie Johnson? Yeah, who's Charlie Johnson? Oh, that's him over there. Which one? He's a tall black guy, man. Don't put me on the spot like that. Why don't you go over there and talk to Charlie Johnson instead of trying to make me sound like I'm some kind of fucking racist? You know, these are when you know that you're elevating your game. That you know now that, yeah, he is a black person, but now he is a person versus a black person. Because a lot of racist people don't see people as people. They see them as their race first. And until we learn how to see people as people, damn their race, damn their gender, we will never end racism until we start doing that. I got plenty of Asian friends. I've been worried about my Asian friends since COVID-19 struck. Alright? I got some really damn good Asian friends. Fucking family to me. So when I say I worry about my Asian friends because of COVID-19, some of them are living up top in New York. My boy up there is taking pictures. I worry about him all the time. My boys is down south doing their thing that are Asian. I worry about them all the fucking time. I got some black friends. I worry about them. Especially the ones that don't live too close to help. My white friends, I worry about them. Because they could get caught up in the mix for knowing me and liking me. I'm mixed. Got a couple of mixed friends. I worry about them. But I don't worry about them as much as I worry about my Asian friends because the world has took a shift and started making people not like blacks as much, but hate Asians more. So y'all think about that shit. We need to open up our eyes, open up our hearts, and take a knee to the face of racism. For Kung Fu Havoc number 2, I'm James Williams Jr., BC, and you.